Hey everyone, this is Coach McKnight here at the Apply Velocity Training Facility in Guy Perkins. Back at you with another hitting instructional video. Today, I'm going to talk about two of my favorite drills that I like to use with my lessons. I like to isolate a lot of movements in my lessons, whether that be staying connected up top or hip direction or whatever it is. I like to isolate those certain movements, but I also have a lot of drills that I like to use to put all those together. These two drills I feel like are really good at putting a bunch of different movements together, and to me, I see some of the best results out of these two drills from my lessons. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first one is going to be called the 45 drill or the angle drill. Some people have different names for it. I just call it 45. So basically how you set up is, instead of being in your launch position here, right, towards our pitcher, we're going to angle our launch position about at the angle of the back of the plate, going down the third baseline, or if you're left-handed, first baseline. But we're going to be at about that angle in our launch position. Now, something else that's key is we don't want to be in a really wide launch position here. We want to be somewhat stood up, but you're still in an athletic, balanced, powerful position, both the heels on the ground, and you should feel really stable and powerful in this position. Another key to this drill is don't put the tee really low. Put it at about hip level, maybe a little bit higher. If you're just starting doing this drill, it'd probably be a good idea to raise it up even higher than that. As you get better, you can work the tee a little bit lower, but starting out, I would start with the tee a little bit higher. So, and then once you're in this position, we got our tee set up, we're at our angle. You want to place this ball about off your front foot here. If it's too far back, then it's gonna create some bad habits. If it's too far forward, then you're not gonna be contacting the ball where you need to be contacting it in the zone. Setting up this ball middle, about hip height. That's about where you want it to be. So the 45 drill, I'll just demonstrate a swing and then I'll talk about what we're doing here, okay? So here, I'm set up, ball off the front foot, a little bit more narrow launch position. I'm here, so I'm gonna coil and swing, okay? What this drill is working on is a lot of different things. Coiling into the hip, creating some direction for your hands by using your hips and your back knee. It really works on getting bat lag and getting the barrel on plane and keeping that barrel on plane through the zone with good direction. I think it does a really good job of working on when to release the barrel. And I think this is also a really good drill once you progress in it to work on outside pitches, setting this ball up over the outside part of the plate and work on driving pitches that direction. So let's get into it, how you do it. So we're gonna be set up here. Now, the first thing about this is being a good balanced launch position. Then coiling into our hip, okay? Feeling that hip coil, feeling tension here in our butt. What you don't want to do, what you don't want to see is just sitting down. If you sit down in your load, you're going to want to come up whenever you swing, okay? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So whenever you're loading, don't just sit, all right? Because you're gonna wanna pop up and extend this knee and ankle joint and hip joint as opposed to driving it down. So don't sit. We are coiling into our back hip and feeling the tension here. Another really big thing that I see is kids wanting to just turn their shoulders doing this, and that creates some pretty bad habits. They think that this is just loading. It's not loading into the hip, and then whenever you get square again, they're gonna wanna turn at the shoulders, and then they can't see the ball, and that is a top priority when hitting. So what we want to happen is to coil at the hips and our shoulders end up being in the position that they would be in if we were square to the plate. So boom, here. If I turn to you here and I do this and I'm coiling, and then I turn, you see my shoulders are in the same position. But we don't want to just turn our shoulders there up here, because that's not properly loading into our hip, and that's where we need our weight and our tension to be able to explode through the baseball. Another key part of this drill is your barrel. So you see where my barrel's starting here. As we coil, getting that barrel moving forward with a negative movement, hands about over the back foot, creating our box here just like we would normally, okay? So we're here, boom, coil, now we're set. Now, from this position, what you should be trying to accomplish is your knee and your hip working through the ball here, right? If your hip and knee are working around the ball, you see where my hands are going? They're gonna come in and out of the zone. If you are extending at the hip, then your hands are gonna do the same, and you're gonna have too steep of an angle come through the ball. So a really good takeaway from this drill is creating direction for your hands with your hips here, okay? Driving down and in, boom, and punching that hip to the ball. Once that happens, okay, so we're here, boom, you see how my barrel's getting on plane right here? As my hips go forward, my shoulders go back, I start to create that tilt, create some separation and stretch here in my front side, across our abdominal region. And that's really what you want to accomplish as a hitter. Once you get to the point where you are stretching your body effectively, hitting is going to feel effortless. Your body's like a rubber band. If you stretch it, it's gonna come back faster. And it's basically just the stretch shortening cycle. I was a sprinter at University of Memphis, so we talked about that a lot, of course, but all you need to know, you don't need no science around it. We just have to stretch our body, and it will make it a lot easier for us to produce force, and we won't have to work as hard to do it. So we're here, boom, hips coming forward, coil, hips coming forward, shoulders rotating back, barrel getting on plane here, keeping our box, getting here, releasing the barrel, straight through the ball. Okay, so I'll demonstrate one more time. Here, okay, straight through the ball. This knee should be moving forward with our hip, and that creates good direction for our hands coming through the ball. So that's the 45 drill. So let's talk about the next drill. This is going to look a little funky, but just hear me out. So this is an elevated foot drill. This really works on about the same things as the last drill does. I think it works on getting good knee direction a little bit better, but it's about the same thing. It's a really good holistic hitting drill. So how you want to set this up is elevate this foot. This is about a foot off the ground. Now, I've seen people have their foot way up here. I'm not too much of a fan of that, not gonna lie. I'm sure I probably would if I understood more what people were doing. But about a foot off the ground, maybe to start this out, maybe start a little bit lower to the ground, maybe 6 inches, but have this foot elevated here. Now, where you want to be is hitting this ball about off your front knee right here, okay? And same thing, so we're here, we're set up, this time we're squared to the plate, hands here, launch position, coiling into the back hip, really feeling that coil and tension here and on the outside of our hip, coiling into our back hip, boom. That was a bad swing. Let me get another swing. I came up and around that ball. But that was a good demonstration, okay? So what happened there on that swing is instead of my hips going through the ball here, they went up and around. My barrel goes up and around. I get over top of the ball, okay? Let me take a better swing here. Boom, boom, okay? Really works on creating good direction for your hands with this knee and this hip, all right? If you have kids that have problems with extending this leg up at your knee, at your ankle, knee, and hip joints, this is a really good drill to help them feel this knee and hip going down and creating direction for your hands through the zone as opposed to coming up. So set up on that drill, again, ball about off the front knee, about 12 about 12 inches of height there. Middle. Again, this drill is really hard to do if the ball's lower. If you're just starting out, I would recommend starting this ball a little bit higher here. And right now I have it at about hip level. I feel like that's a good level to have the ball in this drill. So whenever you're doing this stuff, just make sure you're set up properly, because if you're not set up properly, then the drill's not gonna work. So make sure you're doing it the correct way. And the biggest takeaways from these two drills, again, are coiling into the hip, right? Feeling that tension there, getting good direction for your hands with your hip and knee joint, going to the ball, down and in, and then getting good bat lag, feeling the bat get around your body and getting on plane and going through the zone. I feel like, I've had a lot of success with this drill with kids whenever their hands are coming here, right? To get them to feel that barrel working around their body, getting on plane and going through the zone. So let me know what you think. Comment, like and subscribe to the channel, share the channel, please. Trying to grow this thing, trying to put good information out there on the internet. And just thank you very much for watching, and I'll be posting some more drills and hitting instruction here soon. So thank you.